Okay, good morning, folks. Morning, traders. Monday morning, just London just opening. The 11th of April. Quick sound check. Can you hear me okay this morning? Quick sound check, make sure I'm coming through. There we go. Right, so what we're seeing this morning, just overnight, obviously from last night we had Yellen speaking, didn't come up with much market sensitive information, stunned by the fact that the GDP growth is a lackluster 2%, coinciding with reasonably strong job numbers over the last 6 months or so. But it didn't come out with anything in particular. What we are seeing is a bit of stabilisation in the dollar index. But are we coming through okay this morning? Just a quick one, quick sound check. Okay, right. Okay, yeah, sorry, I had to scroll through the chat. Yeah, so we're seeing some consolidation in the dollar index. Dollar index is just sort of a bit below the 101 handle, but we see we're in some consolidation here at the moment. Bit of support here back if you look to the left of the chart around this high wick of this candle, but it's 101 psychological level at the moment. So the market is looking for direction. If we do break 101, then the next logical support in dollar index, as I was speaking about in depth yesterday, is the 165 area, just around here. This is the next level that I think the market could hold before it looks to retest the 100 level. So this is definitely the next stalling block in the dollar index. But if you look at what we're seeing in the, if I just pull up the comparison chart between the dollar index and dollar yen again. So this is the dollar index, dollar yen. So the dollar index is holding firm around the 101 level. However, the dollar index, dollar yen, is having a big sell-off, as you can see now, down almost to my stop level, which is going to be hit while we're online. Here we go. It's at 44. But what the significance here is clearly is the yen strength. So the market is basically saying, as we did see last week, if you recall, last week, Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday last week, was a flight to risk off. And people were, flight to safety. People move into the safer, lower yielding currencies, of which the Japanese yen, of course, is the lowest yielding currency, or low yielding currency. So the market is moving into an area of safety, and they're looking at getting into Japanese yen strength. So clearly, you'll see this on the strength meter again. This is just evidential here. The Japanese yen at the moment is the strongest currency. The geopolitical concerns around the world with Korea, Syria, North Korea, Syria, and the likes. It's just moving. The Carl Vincent's just been placed off the Korean Peninsula. That's the US warship. So there's global tension rising now. Obviously, Russia in there as well. So there's global tension here at the moment. There's every reason why people are moving into the yen, and people, traders are looking also at the gold markets. Gold markets are sort of, at the all important, 200-day moving average almost, 1250, 1260. We'll look at that in a moment. But that's basically what you're seeing at the moment, a flight into safety. Now the Canadian dollar had a good run yesterday on the back of oil prices. Oil prices have given up some ground in the last few hours, just on profit taking. Also, there's the higher the oil prices go, the more shale production comes into the US as well. So there's always going to be some stabilisation in oil prices. Canadian dollar at the moment is a proxy for oil prices. So we are seeing that Libya had some issues over the weekend as well with some pipelines cut, so that's put a bit under oil. But at the moment we're seeing some stabilisation in oil prices, which is putting the CAD back down marginally. But Canadian dollar still remains to be the strong currency. If you are trading Canadian dollar, you know that obviously we've got the big numbers out in Canada. We've got the rate decisions in Canada tomorrow, and I think it's tomorrow, and all the press statements that follow the Canadian rate decision. So be mindful of that if you're trading Canadian. Okay, so let's just have a quick look at the dollar yen. So dollar yen now, this is a reasonably key level here in dollar yen. I'm not going to. This is my trade idea from yesterday, so I'm not going to move my stop. It's in there at 44. It's going to get triggered off now. If we break down through the dollar index, if dollar yen can break down through the 140 level, then we're going to be the markets are going to be looking at the 110 level. Now there's minor resistance ahead of 110 sort of like 15 area, 110, 20 area. But the market is definitely going to be looking at testing the 110 area. And guys, if we break the 110 area in dollar yen, then there's not pretty much there's pretty much thin air on the way back down. The longer term target 107.50, but there's not much stopping it on the way back down to 109, 108.50. So once we break 110, definitely be mindful of possible big change in trend there and testing the lower levels. So I'm definitely looking at that at the moment. If we if continue this yen strength with the flight to safety, because at the moment there's no real. I can't really see, unfortunately, any big reason for the risk to be taken. The risk to be taken off. When I say off, I mean it's going. The risk is taken off, but I can't see any reason why any of the global tensions are going to abate at the moment. So, I think that's just going to continue to the downside. So I'm definitely looking at buying yen and possibly gold if it continues. Okay, so let's look at yen strength against the. What should we look at against euro? Let's look at euro yen. Keep an eye on the chat as well. Kichi, your looks a nice profit target. Kichi, you're taking profits, but I'm getting stopped out. Okay, well I'll just sell them to you, shall I? Yeah. Okay. So let's have a look at euro yen. Okay, selling euro yen here now. This is on the daily chart. Drill down to the 1 hour. Now this is just motoring on down. Now we've broken through the 117 level. We are firmly below yesterday's and Friday's lows. So this is in a downward move at the moment. Now the euro is under its own pressures with French elections and so forth. So euro yen is a possible trade here now. I think 116.60 is a level in the euro yen is going to be tested first, and then below here, sorry, let me just zoom back out, and then below here 116.30. So selling euro yen at these levels is not necessarily a bad risk reward trade, quite frankly. It's quite see, it's just moving on down as we go. This is the 15-minute chart. Just had a spurt down. Just drilling out to the 4 hour, 1 day for the next target to the downside. So next target downside in euro yen, where we could see this stalled is around the 116.30 level. So pretty much plain sailing down to here. You're going to see some minor pullbacks, selling into pullbacks in euro yen. Wouldn't necessarily be a bad trade. And in fact, selling around where I'm short at 117.11. If it bounces back up to 117.11, then you could look to get back in on a short trade. Okay, stops. My stops are going to be up above. Actually, I should have put that stop in. Okay, so I've got about a 30 pip stop on that, with a take profit target down of the 116.30 level. And this platform is slow at the moment. It's not. There you go. Bit of a delay on that. Not quite liking that. It's about a 5-second delay on placing that. I'll look at that later. So my take profit target, as I say, is going to be down at the 116.30 level. Something down around around here, 116.40. Okay, so that's the euro yen. So that's a reasonably good risk reward trade, shorting euro, buying yen. Euro has weakness across the board, and yen, of course, has strength across the board. So that's where I am on that one at the moment. Let's have a look at pound yen. Pound yen has got the only consideration in pound yen at the moment. For what it's worth, I think it's good consideration, but pound yen at key levels here, 137. 137.12, which is the low from last week. If we break 137.12 on the pound yen, $136.50 is the next target to the downside. Now, pound's got big numbers out today. Big inflation numbers out in the UK. So I'm not certainly going to get involved in that. We've got an hour and 15 minutes for the UK numbers. The general view, I think, of the analysts is that the inflation numbers are not going to be wonderfully good. British pound over the last month and a half, 2 months really have not seen great numbers coming out in terms of economic data. I don't really see why this one's only changing. I live in the UK. There's not the buoyant feeling here. Just on the streets, just chatting to your friends and colleagues around around the world, around you. This just hasn't got the confidence. People are still cautious. So I just get the feeling that the numbers coming out, are not going to be wonderfully good. So this does help shorting pound yen, because of course yen strength, and pound is a weakening currency at the moment. This is the 4-hour chart. You see it's a nice trending down market. We've got the fanned out moving averages still firmly below them. So we're at a level of possible support, but testing this level, next target to the downside would be 136.43. Kitchi, could be conflict with Russia and the US could be making a bit unstable. Yeah. And Jenny is buying dollar yen soon. Jenny seems to be on the other side of my trades most of the time these days. Okay, while we're on the pound, look at pound dollar. Cable. Jenny's using me as a counter trend indicator. Well, hopefully you haven't done for the last couple of months. You might have made money in February if you'd used me, but not last month or January. Right, pound dollar. Okay, we're testing 124 level. Now this is key level here, 124 level. If we break 124 level, we're definitely going to be looking at the target of 123.50. If we break 123.50, guys, then I generally think that the market is going to be talking again about the low levels of 121. Okay, so this market does seem to want to just push lower at the moment. Dollar is flatlining. There's no real catalyst to push dollar lower at this current time. So with the pound weakness, pound numbers coming out, Brexit sort of euphoria abating, the market seems to be wanting to push lower. It's unlikely, I think, that Carney, the governor, is going to be looking to move rates anytime soon with Brexit coming and numbers not looking out to be too positive. The last thing he wants to do is push this into the country into recession before he leaves office in a couple of years' time. If he does leave office, I think he's hinted he might leave office at some time. So I don't think he's going to want to be responsible for pushing us into recession. So he's not going to want to be moving these rates too quickly. So I think stabilisation of this currency back down to the 121 level in the medium term is not unlikely. So how do we trade this? Okay, lows of yesterday 123.65. wait for the numbers, of course, in an hour and 10 minutes. If the numbers are coming out lower than expected, I think inflation will be going for around 2.3, if I'm not mistaken. CPI, about 2.3 the market's looking for. If markets come in lower than that, then you can see this testing 123.65 without much stress at all. And if you break 123.65, then guys, we're looking at 123, and then of course if that breaks, then it's down to 121.50 area. So that's the pound dollar. Not playing this to the upside at the moment, even in a good number, a good number in on CPI and PPI. PPI is also important, but CPI, as we approach up to the 124.50 level, that would be a selling opportunity for me. Markets seem unstable and uncommitted above 125 at the moment, so we really need to see. I think not just one set of data coming out. Remember, we've had 2 months of bad data, or negative, not bad, but not so positive data out of the UK. One batch of numbers, 1 month batch of numbers in PPI, CPI, if it comes out and it does blip up to 124 to 125 area, for me that's a selling opportunity for the continuation of a downtrend. So I'm still playing this to the downside on weak and poor numbers. So that's the pound dollar. Quick look at euro before I move on to a couple of the miners, and then we'll wrap up, or attend to the chat, I should say. So we are 105, broken through the 106 handle. Okay, markets just put out to the 1 day. Yesterday's low, 105.00. This is the level we've been on, meander or guided high all through yesterday. Now seeing some weakness in the euro. We've got euro numbers out as well, inflation numbers out in the euro as well. Excuse me. Oops, wrong screen. So many mouses hocking around here. So the European numbers are out at 10 a.m. So look at markets looking to test the 105.50 area, and then looking back down to retest the lows. So bias to the downside today is selling euro dollar. Not wonderfully committed to this one at the moment. Not my favourite pair to trade. I know some of you just trade the euro against the dollar, but it's not the best pair, I don't think, at the moment. If you just pull out to the meter, they're pretty much grouped up there. It's not. That's the 1 hour. Put out to the 4 hour. Euro weak, dollar there. So they're sort of, well, actually euro's weaker. Certainly that's the bias. You can see that on the price action chart. Euro's weaker, dollar sort of stabilisation around its 20 moving average. I've got this set at 20, by the way. Pound weaker, euro weaker. But yeah, so not my favourite pair to trade, but bias certainly to the downside. Not totally committed by it at the moment. No real catalyst for me to start buying this above 106 area. I can't really see any real reason to buy it at the moment. Opinion polls are still narrowing in terms of support for Le Pen and Macron. Margin of narrowing, nothing much in it, but they are certainly narrowing nonetheless. Okay, let's just have a look at the CAD. Canadian dollar strong. Canadian dollar strong against, particularly against the euro and against the Aussie again. So let's look at the euro CAD. EU is like a turtle. Yep, moving together, just not doing very much. And UK can't compare to my Euro ECAD. Oh, Jenny, you're doing Euro CAD as well. There you are. Okay, Euro CAD. is this is the 4-hour chart. Let's just drill down to the 1 hour. Okay, continue to grind down lower. I want to see a pullback before I get involved in this. The CAD is possibly, it's had a good move over the last last few days really, as oil prices have pushed on. So you might see a snapback in the Canadian dollar. So I'm not going to be selling just at these levels. We will wait to see a pullback. So I'm looking for a pullback into the 141.30 to 40 area before I continue to get into a downward move on that. Now we're definitely in a downward trajectory. I don't see any reason why you want to buy this as a long-term play at the moment. A conservative entry, an aggressive entry would be at the 141.30 level. If you want to be more conservative, then you take it up to the 141.70 level on a higher time frame. With 50-60 pip stop. For a retest of the lows. So you get a good risk reward on that entry. Still a ways away from that entry. If you take the more aggressive entry, you only get a 1-to-1 really on that entry. Let's have a look where the support levels are below here. So this is the so we're at this level here. In fact, bang on to this support level. So this is a level back here from beginning of March. It's a pretty key level here at the moment. So I wouldn't be selling here myself. Bias is clearly to the downside. It's just that other pairs that don't have this necessarily roadblock in here at the moment, and I think this is a roadblock. Of course, if you break it, your target to the downside is 130, well, basically 140, 139.89. So 140 is level is the target to the downside. If you do break this, break this level of support. I had a pet turtle once that ran away. I was at a farm on Sunday with my kids, and we saw a turtle, and it was 110 years old. So it's been through all the wars, and 110-year-old turtle. We've got a turtle. We've got a little terrapin turtle in our with the kids' little thing downstairs. So yeah, that's the EuroCAD. The bias to the downside coming into a level of support, so not too inspired to get further short in here at this level. Let's have a look at the Aussie CAD. Aussie CAD, this is the 1 hour, still grinding lower. Aussie's under pressure. I mean, Aussie remains under pressure. Commodity prices low. China's growth is is slowing. I was reading this report in the FT earlier this morning. Iron ore wipes out Trump trade gains after China reports a forecast of falling prices. So this is the oil. This is the China oil futures. Oil's given. Iron ore has given up its all its gains. It's now down 10% from in March. In March alone, and Australia, the biggest iron ore exporters, second biggest producers. Copper low, copper's on a downward state. So the commodity prices are low, which is affecting the Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar continues to grind lower, and of course CAD tends to is catching a bid with oil prices. So at the moment, the bias still for me is to the downside. However, I think you could see a pullback into another sell area, which is further up here. I'm not selling at the moment. If 100's 25, so about 30 pips for me to continue on this downtrend. So 30 pip, I think, is a 30 pip gain here, which is about 380 Rs on a 1 hour chart. So it's not an unlikely move. It's interesting to see that markets don't normally like to move more than 380 Rs before they have some form of retracement. So that's just something I've observed over the years since I've used. I mean, 80 Rs is about one of the only indicators I actually really look at on my charts in terms of volatility and also in terms of exit and entries. So Aussie CAD looking to looking to continue the downtrend with a pullback if we get back into the 125 area. So that would be my preferred play on that. Not selling here at the moment. If we pull out to the longer term chart, levels to the downside, 98.60. If you are inclined to sell it, 98.60, which is basically the start of the big move up. Okay, let's just take a fib from there. That's going to be a level I would have thought. So we've broken through the 61% fib level from this move up. Mine support in here, coming in here. Now I can't see myself. I can't just get long of this at the moment. The next level to the downside that you need to be looking at is 98.60, which is about 90 points lower. So respected here and respected here. So this is the market. This is the target that the market is definitely going to be eyeing for a down trade, for a continuation of the Aussie CAD weakness. Aussie, excuse me, Aussie New Zealand. Let's just look. I just want to have a quick look at where the New Zealand is on our meter here. Yeah, as I thought, New Zealand is reasonably weak as well. Down with the CAD. Sorry, down with the Aussie. That's the 1 hour. I prefer to look at the 4 hour really for a broader picture. We are the weaker of the bunch at the moment, and Aussie is pushing up slightly for a rebound, which is only natural after 3 or 4 days of negativity. 3 days of negativity. Aussie New Zealand. So we pull back into this zone, which you've just seen there on the strength charts. Aussie putting on a bit of strength against the New Zealand. So we're pulling back into this aggressive sell zone. When I say aggressive, this is my the first entry. So 0795. That's the 108 area. This could hold. It's a 50% move from the low to the high. So we've pulled back now 50%. It's into a bit of structure to the left of the chart. It's a 108 psychological level. So there's 3 levels of confluence here, to continue on an Aussie New Zealand short trade. Okay, if you take this trade, it's pretty clear where you're going to place your stops. To know that you're wrong. Selling here on the 1 hour, a 50 pip stop. You can position size accordingly to have a wider stop here. 50 pip stop is where your stop will be. If you trade up to these levels, then you're wrong in the trade and it's time to move on. But my bias is for that continuation to the downside. Let's drill out to the look for a target. Yeah, 107. That's only about a 1-to-1. 1-to-1 on there for initial take profit targets. 106.20 for longer term targets. So that's the buys on Aussie New Zealand. Let's just have a look. Have I looked at the Euros? It's flatlining, isn't it? Euros. Euro weak, Aussie weak, flatlining. You remember, so buying weakness, buying strength, selling weakness. At the moment, both of these are weak, as you see on the strength, and of course reflected here. Have a quick look at Euro Pound before I go. Euro Pound looking to test 85 handle again. That's the daily. again, it's flatlining. Pound, euro, both weak at the moment, but we are, broke yesterday's lows, created a new low, now back up to the opening. I'm indifferent around this one. UK numbers, so let's just wait and see what that comes out there in 55 minutes time to see where we go on that one. But at the moment, that's a flatlining trade, and I think we pinpointed some other more interesting potential opportunities. Let's have a look at some trade ideas. What we got here? Euro dollar short. Yep, I've just been speaking about that, so let's have a look at that. 105.65. Hello traders. Okay, that's from Zars. Looking for continuation of the downtrend. Test a 105 area. Hasn't got to take profits on the trade idea, but we get what you're thinking. Yep, bias I suppose is the right way round. Euro CAD long. Don't know about that one. We trade what we see, not what we believe. There's another sell opportunity in the Euro CAD. Hope it gives out. Wait for reversal on our next 104.40. Reinstate long Euro CAD. Okay. Yep. Not quite sure where that one's coming from, but it's buying support level. Okay. Yeah. All trade. There's not such a thing as a bad trade ideas. I've said before, all trade ideas are trade ideas. So please do keep them coming. It's not. No one's got the monopoly on the good trade ideas. Let's look at this one. Whoa. A sea of red. Yep. Got it. Euro yen. Shorting Euro yen. Well, all this going on, I agree with you in terms of direction and bias for the trade. I'm not quite sure what all this means. I presume these are CCI crossovers. I would have thought. You mostly got the MACD. Is this MACD or? This looks like an easy trend indicator. An FX power thing. I don't know what that is. Yeah, but I agree with the bias. Euro yen short. Euro yen. I agree with that short thing. Okay, Kichi. 52 minutes ago. Euro CAD buying Euro CAD. I beg your pardon. Short entry in the Euro CAD. I like that. Hang on. You've got a short entry up here, but you've got a buy order here. No, so you're short at 141.70 with a stop up here maybe. Yeah. Okay. So I agree with that. I mean, I think you're shorting here. I think you just written down buy order here wrong. You'll tell me correctly in a moment when I go back onto the chat room. But yeah, putting back into here for continuation of the downtrend, which is my style of trading, my technique as well. So I like that. If I've read that correctly. Yep. Okay. Sorry, I've just now looking at the chat. Yeah, typo. Should have a sell order. Yep. Okay. Got it. No problem. I was looking at the thing and yeah, you've just confirmed it now, so that's fine. So do keep these trade ideas coming. Pound dollar short. Let's have a look here. Pound dollar short. Hey traders, as expected on my previous treatment, broken support. Test now. Opportunity to short pound. Good luck and stay safe. Yep. Thanks for your trade ideas, Ours. They are plentiful. Trading view. Yep. I see that. Shorting into a level of structure on a pullback. No problems with that one. My style as well. Be mindful. 40 minutes from pretty volatile numbers in the UK coming out. Mad Max is short pound CAD. Short pound CAD, yeah, okay. Got your red candles, which is presuming a moving average coloured candle chart. Is that something like that? And your stop loss is at 126.44, 166.44. Yeah, perfectly sound order. If you break this level here, then these levels down here are the next target certainly. No problems with that one. Mad Max, quite like that. Nice clean chart. A couple of moving averages. Euro New Zealand. Flatlining, I'd have thought. Euro New Zealand. Okay. Let it run. Shorting Euro New Zealand. Snyder's, which indicators do you use? Seems like some people have way too much. Well, I mean, I don't. I mean, I use the ATR. I mean, I use an ATR indicator. I have moving averages on there for some visualization Snyder's, but I don't trade off an ATR. I don't use them as support or dynamic support or resistances. I don't trade off moving averages, I should say. I use them as dynamic support and resistances. I use an ATR in terms of potential volatility in the market. It's something that's flatlining ATRs and it means that nothing's going on. I do also use ATRs for potential entries and and exits. So an ATR, just because it gives me a number to latch onto, is about the only indicator I'd use. Ollie Boy, that's my dog's name, will determine the pair movement today. Yeah, pound news, big pound news today, 40 minutes from now. What do you think of my tradie? What do you think of my gold idea? Where's your gold idea? Gold idea. I mean, I like the bias. If the test resistance level a third time pulls back slightly, we should break the resistance and rally up to previous highs. I like the idea. I think with global tension, global tension does tend to, people do like to get a bit of gold on board when we see global pressures moving up, geopolitical pressures that we're seeing at the moment. We are into a level 112.60, 65 area. If you look at the charts, is a key level. But certainly, these are the levels you're targeting. It is definitely a key level. Let's just have a look at the chart. But I agree with the bias. This is a buy zone. Test this resistance level, which is a upward trend line. Yeah, I think that could work. Let's have a quick look at gold while we're on it. So this is the daily. oops, sorry, I need my. So we're now at the moving average has come back down. The 200 moving average has come back down to where we are now. So if we break the 200 moving average, 1257. The testing of those highs, testing of those highs. Well, I don't know. I mean, you could easily. I mean, binary trade. 1200 or 1300. If you break the new highs here, then the next target the market is going to be looking at global pressures, global tension, is 1300. So yes, tradey, whatever. I like the idea. Right, guys, I will. Anything else in the chat? The trade of the day. My only open trade. I think I've been stopped out in the dollar yen. Have I been stopped out? Not quite. Oh, we've had a bounce. I haven't been stopped out there. My trade of the day is Euro yen. Okay, so my trade of the day today is short Euro yen. Okay, and I'm short around these levels. I'm short at pretty much here. I've been on 20 pips up, but still short. Not moving to break even. I'm not into break evens on such a tight move. My trade of the day is a target back down here at 116.40 with a stop at 117.40. Okay, so it's a reasonably wide risk reward ratio, so I'm happy with that. Looking for continued strength of the Japanese yen as global tensions surround the markets and flight to Japanese currencies. Right, chaps, I use pips indicator. Jenny. Yes. Oh, I see. What indicator do you use? I use pips. Yeah. Just back to that question. Those are the indicators I use. I mean, people use lots of different indicators. It doesn't. When I first came on, I remember I've been trading for 30 years on the trading floor. So I come from a very different background than a lot of people that come into trading now, because people come into trading, they read the education that you see available, or they buy some education. There's lots of indicators there, and people write proprietary indicators and they use those. I never had all that in my previous life on the trading floors. We didn't have that, so it's not something I've grown up with. So when I got onto the screen and I saw these wiggly lines, of course I looked at them all, but it wasn't something that I felt actually totally comfortable with. And what I certainly did, sort of around the 2005 area, 2006, when I really started focusing on the screens from the floor, I looked at a lot of different indicators, and I was doing what I think most people go through. I think they swap and change. They see things that work and they see things that they want to see because of the chart, and then they do that for a while, and then all of a sudden that fails, so they go on to something else. By the time they've spent sort of like 6 months looking at the markets, they know about every indicator that's possibly out there because they've worked on them, they've analysed them, they've used them, they've lost money on them. And they've thrown them out, and then they go back to the raw charts. And Jenny's right. PIP indicator for me is the preferred indicator, price action, what price is doing, and also you have to bear in mind that what I've been saying continuously, trading is not all about the defined exit and entry and exit. The actual trading strategy is accounts for maybe 10-20% of the trading pie. Traders, successful traders are much more focused on risk management, psychology. So not spending too much time on the charts looking for the holy grail of, we all know that, it doesn't exist, but looking for the indicator that's going to give you, the undisputed edge. No, I don't think it exists, quite frankly. So I just use a basic ATR as a guide, moving averages as a guide. So that's my view on indicators. But it's only my view. It's not. It's just based on a lot of it. My background, from the floor, when all we had was we had a Yellow Jacket, which is a trainee in the booth. They're doing the point and figure charts, putting an X if it moved up, and if it reversed 3 points down, you put a 0, and that's the only charts that we had in those days. So we just. And even those, if she fell asleep or she took a phone call from her boyfriend, God knows what happened to the chart. Create new support and resistance levels because she'd fallen asleep. So we didn't really use too much of that in those days. Kitschy, naked now. Yeah, only from the waist down though. Right, okay, I'll leave it there. Do keep the chats coming. I'm sitting here all day. It's a beautiful sunny day here in London. Now we're getting on for 9 o'clock, 10 to 9. So beautiful sunny day here. Why is the EuroCAD now long? Why is the EuroCAD long now? Oil prices are under a slight bit of a minor correction. I mean, nothing goes up in a straight line forever, Valentine, or straight down forever. There's always corrections. We're seeing a little bit of a correction in oil prices. There's, as oil pushes on, the US shale gas shale oil kicks in as well. So that's giving the oil a bit of resistance. Of course, we've got the we've got the sort of outweighed by Q80 ministers talking about the stockpiles decreasing. If you look at oil prices, we're having a pullback in oil today. Okay, so we're having a minor correction in oil back into this resistance level. 52.80. The highs are 53 yesterday, or this morning, or Asian close, Asian opening here. So we're seeing a pullback in oil basically, but it's whether it's sustainable, I don't know. So, and the euro is under pressure. Euro is under pressure across all the currencies. So euro is still under pressure. So that's basically what that we're seeing there. I think in the euro, nothing goes, it moves forever. Whether it's going to continue, we shall see. Trader, where can I get the strength indicator you are using? The strength indicator is something that I had written for me by code a few years ago. I've used it well before I joined the group, the Forex Signals here, forexsignals.com here, and we basically, it's not rocket science. You can get them freely over. I think you can. Well, I don't know if you're free. You might have to buy them, but we do offer it here free. If you go to this is the trader ideas, you know this, you're familiar with it. If you click on here, FX propulsion strategy. Okay, this is me, this is the ebook, this is the strength indicator, which is free to all you lovely people in the room. So there's no, we're not trying to grab any money out of you for this, it's free. Just respect that you won't be able to share it anyway because it's locked to the brokers. So follow the instructions here. There's also a YouTube video here of how I use it, talking at strength over weakness, how we look for entries, looking at ATRs. There's an ebook here explaining the basis behind the FX propulsion strategy. So do take that at your in your own time. You can download it by clicking this button here. Download the FX propulsion strategy. Okay. And if you have any questions on it after you've done all that, then I'm here all the time, as you know, to discuss that. So you can ask me questions, and I can explain how it all works. Basically, it is what I've done is basically stretched out the moving average to 0. I've stretched out this each of these moving averages to 0, and this is the divergence away from its 20 moving average. There's 2 versions of the strength meter. This is the only one that's available here at the moment. and it works, works very well. Gives you a good picture of what's going on in terms of strength over weakness. I'm not going to bore the room any more about it than that, because I think most people in the room now know me and hopefully use it. Okay, Scott, Mac, thank you indeed. I'll leave it there, folks. Have a good day. I'm sitting in the room. I'm scheduled on this evening for the London Wrap, as I am every day. London Open, London Wrap. But periodically throughout the day, if we see anything pop in after the UK numbers, I'll be on. Of course, Tony's on at an hour and 5 minutes from now, which is 10 BST, British Summer Time. So he's on in an hour from now, and Jason will be on later. So you've got a fun-packed agenda again with streamers. Great place to hang out. This room. I don't know any other place on the web where you can get this type of interaction. Great people in the room. Mentors coming in. People talking to you about their views on the markets, sharing their ideas. And it's a great community we're creating here. So the community is only good as its participants. So do keep the chats coming. Keep the trade ideas coming. I will chat to you later. 35 minutes for the UK numbers. Be careful if you're trading those. I think they could be quite volatile. Okay, thanks, and I'll speak to you soon. Good luck.